Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Lightbulb Moments, episode number 165. Thanks for joining us today. Whether you are tuning in live, whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast, we're thrilled you're with us today. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. I'm Tom Kuhn. I'm host and curator of Lightbulb Moments. I'm also the CEO and founder of the Qnity company. A light bulb moment is one that is a sudden realization, enlightenment, or inspiration, and we certainly hope that this forum provides a light bulb moment for you. Remember, you can't start a fire without a spark. So in these sessions, we hope we spark you into what's next for you. At Qnity, we're here to help you go from what's confusing, overwhelming, and complicated to a simpler plan and process and success around prosperity, which for most of the businesses we work with, that would be profitability, great culture, and a competitive edge. To prosper, remember to manage your ATM, attention, time, and money, the three currencies we have in life. And thanks for spending your precious time with us today. We love hearing from you. If you have a light bulb moment for your own, if you have a thought, use the chat today, or use the comments if you're listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube. We do love hearing from you. The idea is that this is a roundtable, so feel free to be active in the chat. Submit a light bulb moment to your own on the website or perhaps in the chat. We're always looking for great guests. We do have a great guest today, speaking of that, who I'll get to very shortly. That's going to be Shannon DREXLER. She's the owner of Amber Wave Salon in Naperville, Illinois. And I had the privilege of spending the last 2.5 days with Shannon. And we had a conversation over dinner that led us to a great topic, which we'll get to in a little bit here. So I'm super excited to bring Shannon to the mic and the camera in a little bit here. Recent episodes of Lightbulb Moments. The last one we had was with Rodrigo Himab. And he is in the area of family business. He's an advisor and the managing director of Generation 6. A lot of just great practical realities and other things related with family business as it relates to succession planning, but not just succession planning, but just how you operate from a healthy standpoint, a family business, of which a vast majority of businesses, certainly in the beauty industry, are family businesses, as well as nationwide. Very high percent still are family businesses. So it's a great episode. Lightbulb Moments is proudly sponsored by, well, we're proud to list them as sponsors. We're proud of all these organizations. Lightheart Sanders, the CPA firm that we work with and recommend. They are a legacy sponsor of Lightbulb Moments almost since the beginning. Green Circle, who has also been a great partner of ours in the work that they're doing to address the E-related issues in the beauty industry, are incredible. And then Forrest has also been a great partner of ours. So thanks to those companies for helping to sponsor this forum. Also check out Money02, Erin, president of Qnity. She has several great podcast episodes, so you want to check those out. Current Data Project. Please participate and advocate for. We are full on into a P&L benchmark study. There's an open and close period. It does say the close period is September 15th. Please do your best to reach that deadline. We will be given some extensions. So if you have some extenuating circumstances, don't let that date freak you out. We do already have some great participation. We got great momentum. You definitely, if you're eligible to be part of this, there's no cost to it. You actually get a scorecard, and more importantly, you become part of a community that feels it's important to take a fresh look at things such as P&L benchmarks, especially given that they are out of date, pre-COVID, and it's very difficult to operate your business if you're using benchmarks if you don't trust them. It's a very simple process to participate. It's a very short survey, and then we made it super simple to securely upload the last 2 years P&Ls in Excel. And so we'll also put in the chat. You can also go to our webpage for how to participate in this study. The more participants we have, the better it is for everybody. Again, 2 simple steps. And I want to shout out our sponsors. This is a large-scale project. I mean, we have the backing of some great organizations, as well as a data partnership with Lightheart Sanders. They are the ones that will actually be receiving the P&Ls, the independent CPA firm, Lightheart Sanders. Also part of the study is a top analyst from University of Texas, Austin. But again, I want to thank our sponsors, including Wella, Aveda, Boulevard, Zenoti, Neal, and 2 to 10. We will be delivering some of the findings from the P&L study this fall at certain conferences, including the Zenoti conference, 2 to 10 conference, and probably many more. So anyway, remember, that's our current data project. Not just participate in it, but do advocate for us. We're off to a healthy start, but getting participations always takes a village. And the best way to help with that is to actually get your data in. And if you have any local salons or connections that you're in touch with, encourage them to participate too. Upcoming dates, we do have the 2 to 10 project coming up in, oh gosh, I think it's under 6 weeks. And it's a slightly different format this year. It's the first time 2 to 10 is going to be a leadership retreat. It has been a conference. Now it's a retreat. It is right downtown Palm Springs at the Thompson Hotel, brand new hotel. You do have to qualify for 2 to 10. You should have reached an invite. If you did receive an invite, make sure that you respond and sign up, because we are having a smaller group this year intentionally. If you are eligible for 2 to 10, you have multi-locations, reach out to us to get an invitation. So we do have that coming up. Another announcement related with our Succession Masterclass. It was scheduled for October 7th. We have changed this. We are going to go a bit bigger. We are going to actually push this to January, and I'll have more details about that in the upcoming weeks, but it's going to be a program that certainly infuses most of our succession content, but it's very much going to be for those that want to grow or let go. So this will be open to new buyers. It'll be a full day event. It'll be January, and I need just another week to give you the rest of the details. We just had 2 one-day workshops in Minnesota. We had the growth workshop. We'll be doing it again in November. We do have a virtual group that really helps in implementing the growth program, whether you attended the workshop or not. There's a QR code on the screen. It's also on our webpage. So this is a great way to really be very intentionally about growing your top line sales through several of Qnity's signature tools and methods on how to track, target, and drive growth, starting with the leadership team and then going directly to your team. This is the most recent version of a legacy program of ours. We'll do it again live in November, but whether you go to the live workshop or not, we highly recommend you consider being part of an implementation growth. Similarly, we just completed our profit workshop. We'll be doing it again in November. And here's another opportunity to join an implementation group. Same thing. You get to get all the content and all the tools and the systems, including a lot of new stuff, but you're able to have time to successfully implement and some hand-holding. So that's another implementation group that is we're assembling right now. So profit or growth virtual, which will allow you to seamlessly over a period of months, 6 months plus, really depending on your situation, how long it'll take to implement, but definitely want to consider that. All right, I've got some Lightbulb moments for this week that I want to share with you. And I'm going to start with this one. And this is an insight from today from a blog that I listen to called Amnesite. And Wells Fargo employee tragically found deceased at desk after days unnoticed. wow. I mean, you read that and it's like, well, how could something like that happen? And there's no making light of this. I think my takeaway on this is that isolation is very present in the workforce. And it's very easy for isolation to perpetuate itself so that, your head is down for a very long time. And then you realize a period of days, weeks, whatever, it's like, it's very easy to hide these days. And so it really takes to me the power of in person and community. And having come on spending 2 great days with a bunch of salon owners, some of our partners, our team, it just reminds me of the power of connection and how, this particular person, I'm sure, felt very isolated, very alone, and disconnected. And so, when we look at success in life, 99% of your success, according to a study by Harvard, it was in Harvard Business Review, depends on one thing, and that's who you associate with. And, the power of continuing to expand your community, expand the people that you connect with and associate with, not only creates greater mental health, but it also creates greater business success. So I continue to be a big fan of gatherings and out of this most recent gathering, we did, like I said, we did 2 workshops. We did our profit workshop on Monday, and then our growth workshop on Tuesday. And one of the reasons we do these regional workshops, oftentimes either in our sort of North Hub, which is Minnesota, or our South Hub, which is Austin, Texas, is each time we do one of these workshops for one of our core programs, we use it to the opportunity to make it better than it was the last time. And every single time, I think this is the 5th time that we've delivered this profit workshop in the last couple of years. And each time we've intentionally leveled it up. And this last round was the same. And so there's a few new things that have come out of this. I'm going to cover one of them just in a moment today. But what's new is we have new calculators. We address more specifically why size matters and really break down our system, whether you're under $1 million, whether you're over $1 million, whether you're multi-location. So we've more clearly delineated all the way to multi-location, which is one of our core expertise. We infuse more tax tips in this program, more on cash flow. And then we had a pretty robust segment that we've added to this that are very tangible, specific profit tips that are things to implement right away that allow you to have a huge return on investment of time. So anyway, those are some new things to come out of this. But what I'm going to share with you today is one of the things that has been a regular topic on Lightbulb Moments, and that's technology. And we frequently are inviting the tech titans in the beauty industry. We've certainly had several in recent weeks too. So I just want to share with you just some of my thoughts on financial software, and then we're going to bring Shannon to the mic here. So first of all, this is a hot topic within Qnity. We are all running our businesses on a large number of technology platforms, whether it's an app or desktop or whatever. It's very easy for that to get like out of control. It seems like every week we're signing up with some new app to help solve some problem or some opportunity in our business. So I asked that we not take a pause, but we step back and say, all right, so how many different technology platforms are we working with right now? And we did a little guessing game as a team, and we're up to 58 right now. The high number for the guess was, I think, 38. And Michelle Schuster, I'm going to give her credit. She's the one that guessed. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't guess 50 plus. But so we have all of these technology platforms, whether it's your POS platform, your QuickBooks, whether it's Constant Contact, whether it's subscribing to, a certain marketing platform. I mean, there's, HubSpot, all these different things. And so I'm going to give you maybe a lens for you to maybe look at within your company. So first of all, you need to assess, I mean, what do you actually have right now? What's an inventory of all your technology subscriptions and platforms? Next is, how do they connect with each other? Instead of working in isolation. For example, your POS system in QuickBooks, how do you use technology to how do they connect together? And then the most important one is adoption. You could have 10,000 features in a particular package, but most of us are using a very, very small fraction. So I'm big, and I've talked about this a lot, about the importance of technology adoption and training. We now have a Thursday tech training, so every single week, because otherwise what's going to happen is we're going to fall behind. And with the pace of change with technology and AI and all that, I'm highly encouraging all of you to really assess, connect, and adopt your tech. Next comment is, as far as it relates to financial software, the question isn't whether it's QuickBooks or not, because I'll tell you this, in the surveys that I've done and the work I've done through the years, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that QuickBooks may be the most common software that most small businesses use. And I'm not just talking about financial software. Certainly, there's great programs out there like Xero, and some people use them, but QuickBooks is the dominant, probably 90%. I'm going to say more like 95%. And so it's less a matter of whether it's QuickBooks or not, but what POS, because there's a ton of POS options. So one of the things that we're doing is we're bringing in some more QuickBooks expertise, because latent within QuickBooks is the opportunity to do reports, custom reports, whatever, and I think it's very underutilized. Next is new apps. I'm going to give you just a few that we're using, and a couple of them are some of them are partnerships that you can take advantage of. Certainly Gusto is really a great payroll app. We love Gusto at Qnity. We know other people that work with Gusto. So the days of ADP and Paycheck, et cetera, and QuickBooks payroll, Gusto is a platform that is a great payroll app. Betterment, we actually have a partnership with Betterment. Betterment offers very easy app-based financial management, 401k plans, savings. And so we haven't really talked about this yet, but over the last year and a half, we've worked on a partnership with Betterment. So if you have an organization you want to set up a 401k or change your 401k, it's super seamless, very employee friendly, cost friendly. And we also have negotiated a discount that can be passed directly on to our community. And then finally, Ally Health is another example of a great app. We're a big fan of Ally Health. It's telemedicine and mental health, very affordable. So these are the things that change our business today. And we're going to be talking more about apps in the future. The final thing is coming soon. And one of the things that we've been working on behind the scenes is creating more of a single place that you can go within Qnity to have a lot of the resources that we have that many people don't even know about, or they don't take advantage of. Digital tools, financial tips, calculators, statistics. We just have a wealth of information, knowledge, tools, et cetera, relating to small business financial management and small business financial success. So stay tuned. I like to bring these things up on Lightbulb Moments. We have a Qnity membership that we're creating. There's a QR code to sign up and learn more. It is going to provide a greater suite of digital tools, better work within QuickBooks. There'll be a CFO corner, deeper into tax tools and tips. Really importantly is give you quarterly scorecards, templates, et cetera, et cetera. So more coming on that soon. Those are my Lightbulb moments this week. With that, I would like to invite Shannon Drexler to the mic and the camera. And we are bringing Shannon. All right. Shannon, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. And are you on camera?
I thought I was on camera. I don't know why it's not pulling me on camera.
All right. Well, there you are right there. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All
Hi.
right. Now we're good. We needed a moment just put you in
Yeah,
the spotlight. How are you this morning?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
You are fabulous. You're a fabulous woman. I mean, I've gotten to know you over the years a little bit, but haven't spent a couple of days with you. You have a very big heart and you're a very passionate owner, and it's really cool to meet people like you. So,
Thank you. It was a wonderful weekend. Very enjoyable.
so be careful when you sit next to me over dinner and have a topic that's interesting to a lot of people, and that's exactly what happened. We were sitting together at dinner, and we got into this conversation about parting ways with top revenue producers.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a rich table conversation.
Yep.
And so I just looked over and I said, all right, well, why don't we make it the topic for this week's light bulb moments? And you said,
Yep.
sure. So here
Yep.
we are.
Yep.
Before we dig deep, tell us a little bit about Amber Waves, where you're located, a little bit about your business, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So my name is Shannon Drexler, and I've owned Amber Wave Salon. It's actually in a suburb of Chicago, Naperville, Illinois. And we've been in business almost 30 years. We were in one location for 25 years, and recently, after COVID, about the last 3 years, we've moved to a little bit bigger location, kind of more centrally located in town. We're an exclusive Bumble salon and Schwarzkopf, and obviously partner with Qnity, and very supportive of all of the tools that you have supplied for us, which has been amazing. So yeah, so that's kind of my little story.
Well, and Naperville's a pretty busy area within the Western
Yes.
Chicago area. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's
So,
yeah.
so we're sitting there at the table, and it always just, you always see salon owners feeding off each other
Mm-hmm.
when they have an opportunity just to get out of their business, away, the day to day, and in a more organic environment. And the conversations that come up are so rich.
Yep.
So I don't even know how this part of the conversation came up, but let's tee this thing up in terms of the situation you were in with a key employee.
Yeah. So we kind of just started discussing, just like overall staff and, staff. It kind of started from like staffing issues and, trying to hire people and then having long-term employees on your team, and just segueing it into at some point, sometimes the employees that you have for a very long time, I feel like they just kind of outgrow your management and they outgrow your vision and your space. And you sometimes have to make really tough decisions, and sometimes they're very emotional decisions, to kind of part ways with them. And when this happens, it's like I said, it can be very emotional, but in your heart, I think that they're also ready to kind of like spread their wings and be more independent in their space, because what's happening in your particular business just isn't feeding them enough.
Well, and so you went through talking about your story, and it was, I literally went around the table and say, how many of you owners have had something almost identical? And like everybody raised their hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's such an important thing that doesn't get enough airtime. So
Yeah.
let's stay here a little bit longer. So, are there potential signs that would really indicate that an employee might be detrimental despite their performance? I mean, what would be some of the signs? Let's start there.
Yeah. So I think, they kind of, you feel a sense maybe of them pulling away. Um, Again, like conversations, you feel the independence in them, maybe a little resistant to kind of doing certain things or doing certain job performances, kind of almost like isolating themselves from the team and from the management. Uh, for myself, it's happened, a few times over the 30 years. And I'm very supportive of it. I get it and I understand it. It's not always great for the team to feel that kind of pressure going on. I feel like people can kind of read it. Obviously, I think as an owner, a lot of times we read it and then we misread it because we don't want to see it. Um, but in the end, I think it's a great decision that you make. It can be financially a little bit of a fear and a scare to let someone go. But in the end, you want nothing but the best for them. And, sometimes you see leadership in them and know that maybe they need to go on and, you know, become a leader in the industry and, make independent choices for themselves. And so in the end, I do feel like it's a very cohesive decision. While it's happening, it's very emotional and can be very detrimental to just your heart and their heart. But, in the end, you hope that they can look back and think like this was a great push for me to go out the door and, do my thing and maybe potentially become a great leader for the industry.
You mentioned the financial consideration, and that's something that everybody's very conscious of without, and it's in many cases very subconscious, but really what you're weighing, in many cases, what we're weighing is the short-term financial hit
Yep.
compared to the long-term health of the organization. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think in my mind, that's most salon owners' fear is that, if you see something in someone that's, been with you for a long time and, you do worry about what the financial piece is going to do to your overall, bottom dollar. But you also have to kind of turn it around and realize the staff you have and how wonderful they are and how you've grown them and how you can continue to grow them. So, trying to put that fear aside and just realize that, with your leadership and with your guidance, the team you have, you can, continue to grow them to a different, a stronger level and a stronger awareness of the culture that you're, providing. I think over my 30 years, our culture, ideas, and values definitely have shifted. Our move from a smaller space to a bigger space has, grown me into being a different owner and shifting kind of my value system as well. So sometimes I think in those particular situations when someone's been with you for a long time and they are a financial piece, you also have to like look at it as though maybe they're not going in the direction with you because they really need to go and do their independent work on their own.
You have a healthy and admirable amount of empathy.
I
At least many owners would not have the same empathy that you have. And instead, it creates this feeling of resentment, angst, etc. And so congratulate you on a mindset that I think sets things up for success.
Thank you. Yeah, I
So
mean, I wish them nothing but, to be well. Like I always think in those particular situations, it's, it's emotional and it's a hard decision to make. And I hope at some point, they can, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, they can look back and we can have a, a very healthy conversation about it. And I want them to grow. I want this industry to grow. I want everyone to find grand success in, whichever path that they're choosing to be on. I I want it for myself as well. So sometimes, you make those decisions and it is nice to see somebody, go on their own and be successful and grow into wonderful leaders for our industry. We need strong leaders in this industry and strong role models.
yeah, there's a lot of people will say what you're saying because it's the right thing to say, but I genuinely think that you mean it, and I've seen that. And that was one of the
I
things that
mean
was
it.
intriguing to have you be a guest. Um, for this particular person that really was the trigger point for a conversation, how long had this person been with you?
25 years.
Whoa. And where did this person rank in revenue for service providers?
Number one.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Yep.
25-year seniority,
Yep.
number one producer.
Yep.
Recent is it that this person was liberated from your company?
Like a month ago.
This is still pretty raw.
Yep.
I imagine if I was talking to you, and what day of the week did you have this conversation?
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday. Okay. How was your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Um, again, it's an emotional thing,
Yeah.
I mean, it, it we had built a relationship, just beyond, behind the chair business relationship. I knew her on a very personal level, and I hope someday, like I said, again, that, we can reconnect, because as a person, she's absolutely a wonderful, wonderful person. She's a very talented hairdresser. I just think, honestly, giving her that push is what she needed. Obviously there are things that in my company that I needed too, but I think she needed this to grow and move forward and, become what I don't know that I could fulfill for her anymore.
There's something that we go through within Qnity, and it's actually we have a method around it, and it's called the 3 C's. And one of the things, it's a focusing strategy. One of them is the power of closure. And what we know by science, we know by all sorts of business practices, is that when you get closure in certain areas, it's the precursor to tremendous growth.
Yeah.
Nature is a great example. The forest grows the fastest after a forest fire, and there's all sorts of analogies that really lay into why this could be a huge catalyst for growth beyond, the negative, the feelings, et cetera. So the power of closure.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
The Any strategies that you can think of for managing the transition? And I'm going to mix a couple things here. Actually, I'm going to change the question. I want to go to communication. Okay.
Okay.
Um, Communication to your team and your clients. What did that look like?
A lot of them had, I've known them for a very long time. So I was incredibly transparent. I made all the calls myself, personally, to kind of explain, I didn't get into detail, but that she was no longer with the salon. Obviously, if you've chosen to, go with her, by all means, I understand that. Like I'm not of the mindset that I own the clients and that they're mine and they should stay with me. But I definitely want to put it out there that, we'd love to continue to service you. But if that's not something that's in your cards, I completely understand that. And then I did hand write a card to every single guest and said thank you
Wait a
for.
minute. You hand wrote a
Mhm.
card. How many people?
A couple hundred.
Wow. Do you think that made a difference?
You know what? It's just something I chose to do from my heart, to just say thank you for the years that you've supported our business. And we're always here for you. And, I just think it's good business to do that. I think a lot of people forget to say thank you. And if something ever happens, we're still there. And, we'd love for them to be comfortable returning to the salon. Oh, we're froze. We're frozen.
All right.
Oh, we were frozen.
All right. Am I back?
Oh,
Okay.
It seems frozen. I lost you.
Hi, everybody. It's Michelle. Shannon, can you hear me?
Oh, I can.
Hi. It seems like
Hi.
Tom's a little bit frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen in time.
I think he's going to escape and rejoin us.
Okay, okay.
Are you there, Tom?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Got you back.
Maybe.
We're just kidding.
Yeah.
A little bit. Do I
Why
have?
did Oh,
Oops. I
Go ahead,
keep
Tom.
coming and going, don't.
There you Oh, yeah.
All right. Shannon,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check one more time here. Make you hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll continue where we left off. Pardon the interruption. No, Shannon, I do have a question for you. Is this like a clean out your station you're in right now?
I repeat the question again. What was that?
Was this a clean out your station you're leaving now?
It was.
Okay. All right.
It was.
Okay. Do you have any other tips or do you have anything else that you want to share with our community around this topic?
Yeah, I think that, when you're growing and you're nurturing, your staff, that, my biggest thing is this, that communication is key. And, I know a lot of people talk about it, doing one-on-ones and, always having an open platform and an open door, so that you don't have to get to this point. But sometimes it gets to the point that, that they've kind of outgrown, your business and your business plan and your culture. And I think it's really important that you go at it. Obviously you have to take care of your business, but you go at it with as much kindness as you can and, put it out there. And then you just continue to grow what you have and believe in what you have and try to keep your culture as strong as you can with the remaining stylist and keep it as positive as you can.
I frequently will hear from members of a team, as well as owners, the impact of not really addressing whether it's a toxic employee or whatever. And it often can be a black mark on the owner or the leader in not addressing something that, so there's that piece to it, isn't there?
There is that piece to it. I try to separate myself from that. Everyone's going to have an opinion, no matter who it is, whether it's, the actual person and how they felt during it. That you hope that they can at some point turn around and realize that it was the best thing that could have happened to them because now they're growing independently and kind of doing their own thing. With the staff in general at the salon, I definitely leave the door open that if you need to have any conversation or communication about this, I am more than willing to talk to anyone through it or whatever it is that they need to know. But, I'm also in this shifting space in my business where, I'm really trying to take over the ownership role. I had a much smaller clientele staff when I was at my old space. And I'm really trying to grow into just being a stronger owner and a stronger leader and, not getting involved in kind of the nitty gritty of the gossiping in the back room or whatever may be going on. But in my heart, I want to support everyone and their future goals. And, wherever they're headed, I'd like to support those people. So.
What was the difference in headcount at your old versus your new location?
We had like 10 and now we have 30.
That's triple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah.
So having 30 service providers, that you're directly, direct employees. I mean, that's a significant change. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been good. I mean, I'm navigating through it. I mean, obviously with your tools and your company and your support has been fantastic. I've used other coaches in the past, and I'm always continuously trying to read books and follow podcasts and listen to things to, just help me be better. But, in the end, with this topic, I want to also support those that are not with us. Like, I have no ill will for anyone that, came into our company and left our company. And, I want everyone to succeed. We need this industry to be strong and moving forward.
Wise words. Lots of light bulb moments from you today. Some of these are actual sound bites and an inspiration to all of us. I do want to ask everybody to give Shannon a virtual round of applause. Give her a little shout out in the chat there. Send her a little love. And then Shannon, this formally adds you to our brain trust, and watch for the $1 million light bulb that you should keep on prominent display to remind us of your great contribution. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Tom. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. What a great guest. Love this episode. I was getting ready for this episode today. I had a bit of a realization, too late. Well, not a big deal, but every single September, I talk about one topic, and I haven't talked about it yet. And I'm just going to kind of throw it out there just to remind everybody. September is the second new year. And this is the time of year. It's a great time of year to look at some new change, some new education, new ideas. We're through the summer. There's back to school. So just remind, don't waste September and use it as a month for what's new, because it is commonly referred to as the second new year. So welcome to the second new year. We hope to see all of you next week. If you're listening to this podcast or watching the YouTube, thanks to you also. And then finally, once again, thanks to our great guest, Shannon Drexler, today. And all of you, I hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you.